Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today that a lot of men will never admit out loud. Men like to act tough. We like to act like nothing gets to us. Chest out, shoulders wide, voice deep. We walk around this world pretending we are made of steel. But let me be very clear with you today. There are moments when even the strongest man goes weak. And one of those moments is when a woman knows how to kiss him the right way. Let me slow this thing down for a second because most people get this part completely wrong. A kiss is not about lips first. It never has been. Before anything physical ever happens, something emotional already walked into the room. And when a woman understands that when she leads with emotion instead of motion, that's when a man starts losing strength in places he didn't even know existed. See, men are visual, yes, we admit that. But what nobody talks about is how deeply emotional we actually are when nobody's watching. A kiss that comes with emotion tells a man, I'm here with you, not just touching you. And when he feels that, his mind starts quieting down. His defenses soften, his ego steps aside. Because now it's not about performance, it's about connection. Most kisses fail because they rush to the physical part too fast. They skip the energy. They skip the buildup. But when a woman lets the emotion speak first, when her eyes, her pause, her closeness say more than her lips ever could, that's when a man feels something shift. He feels seen. And let me tell you, men don't get seen very often. We get judged, measured, expected, but rarely seen. So when a kiss carries that emotional recognition, it hits different. A man goes weak when the kiss carries sincerity. Not hunger, not demand, not pressure, but sincerity. When it says, this moment matters to me, because sincerity disarms a man. He doesn't know how to fight it. He can't outmuscle it. He can't joke it away. It reaches him in a place where logic doesn't live. And here's the part most people don't understand. Emotion creates safety. When a kiss feels emotionally safe, a man relaxes. His shoulders drop, his breath changes. And when a man relaxes emotionally, he opens up physically without even realizing it. That's why the emotional layer always comes first. It gives permission for everything else to follow naturally. A kiss that's emotional doesn't rush to prove anything. It lingers, it breathes, it allows space. And in that space, a man starts filling in the meaning himself. He starts wondering, why does this feel so real? Why does this feel different? And the moment a man starts asking himself questions like that, you already have him, because his heart is now involved. Emotion also creates memory. Physical sensation fades faster than emotional impact. A man might forget the details of 100 kisses, but he will never forget the one that made him feel something. The one that made time slow down. The one that made him feel chosen instead of chased. That kind of kiss writes itself into his mind permanently. And when a man feels emotion first, his respect deepens. Because now he understands that the woman in front of him isn't just offering attraction, she's offering presence. She's offering intention. She's offering a moment that means something. And men value what has meaning far more than what is easy. So when emotion leads the kiss, strength leaves the building quietly. Not in a dramatic way, not in a loud way, but in that silent, powerful way where a man realizes without saying it out loud that something just touched him deeper than he expected. And once that happens, he's never quite the same again. Let me tell you something real today, something men rarely confess even to themselves. A confident woman does something to a man that he cannot explain, control, or prepare for. Confidence is not loud. It's not arrogance. It's not showing off. Real confidence is quiet, steady, and unshakable. And when a man feels that energy in a woman, especially in an intimate moment, it changes everything about how he responds. See, men are used to chasing. We are wired to pursue, to impress, to prove. From the time we're young, we're taught that our value comes from what we can get, what we can build, what we can conquer. So when a man encounters a woman who is confident in who she is, not desperate for validation, not searching for approval, it throws him off balance in the best way. A confident woman doesn't kiss a man hoping it will make him stay. She doesn't kiss to secure a future or lock down attention. She kisses because she wants to. And that difference is powerful, because a man can feel when he's being chosen instead of needed. Needed feels heavy. Chosen feels honoring. And when a man feels chosen, something inside him softens immediately. Confidence shows up in the way she moves, the way she pauses, the way she doesn't rush the moment. There's no anxiety in her touch, no question in her presence. She's not wondering if she's doing it right. She's not worried about the outcome. She's fully there. And that presence makes a man hyper-aware of the moment. His senses sharpen, his heart speeds up, because now he's responding to certainty, not insecurity. A man goes weak when he realizes the woman in front of him is not afraid to lose him. Not because she doesn't care, but because she knows her worth doesn't disappear if he walks away. That kind of confidence makes a man step up internally. It challenges him to meet her where she is. And when that energy is felt through something as intimate as a kiss, it lands deep. Confidence also removes pressure. There's no performance to live up to, no expectations being placed silently on his shoulders. And men feel pressure everywhere else in life, to provide, to protect, to succeed. So when a kiss comes without pressure, when it simply exists in the moment, a man relaxes into it. And that relaxation is what makes him vulnerable. A confident woman's kiss doesn't ask questions. It doesn't say, "Do you like me?" Or, "Is this okay?" It says, "This is me." And that clarity is intoxicating, because men spend so much time in confusion, guessing signals, reading between lines, trying to understand emotions that aren't spoken. Confidence removes all of that noise. It creates simplicity, and simplicity brings peace. When a man feels that kind of confidence, his response becomes emotional before it becomes physical. He starts feeling respect mixed with desire, admiration mixed with attraction. And that combination is dangerous, because now he's not just pulled by chemistry, he's pulled by character. He's not just reacting, he's connecting. And in that moment, strength fades quietly, not because he's weak, but because he feels safe enough to let go. Confidence invites that surrender. It tells a man without words that this moment doesn't need to be controlled. It just needs to be felt. And when a man feels that, truly feels it, he responds in a way that surprises even him. Let me tell you something most people never learn, no matter how old they get. Timing will beat technique every single time. You can do the right thing at the wrong moment and completely miss the magic. And when it comes to intimacy, especially something as powerful as a kiss, timing is the difference between something forgettable and something that stays with a man forever. See, men don't go weak because of a move. We go weak because of a moment. A moment when everything lines up emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. When the room feels quiet even if it's loud. When the conversation slows down. When eye contact lasts just a second longer than usual. That pause right there. That's where the power lies. A kiss given too early feels rushed. A kiss given too late feels forced. But a kiss given at the exact moment when emotion peaks feels inevitable. Like it was always supposed to happen that way. And when a man feels that, his body reacts before his mind has time to catch up. His breath changes. His posture shifts. His confidence wavers just a little. That's timing doing the work. Men are thinkers. We analyze, we calculate, we plan. But timing interrupts all of that. It catches us off guard. One second we're in control, the next second we're reacting. And that loss of control, that brief surrender, is what makes a man feel weak in the best possible way. A woman who understands timing doesn't rush intimacy to create attraction. She lets attraction build until it almost becomes unbearable. She reads the energy. She notices the silence. She feels the emotional closeness growing. And when she finally leans in, it feels earned. It feels natural. It feels like relief. And here's the part people don't talk about. Timing shows emotional intelligence. It tells a man, I understand you. It tells him, I feel what you're feeling. That understanding makes him feel connected, not just desired. And men crave that connection more than they'll ever admit. When timing is right, the kiss doesn't feel planned. It feels spontaneous, even if it was deeply intentional. And that's powerful. Because men respond to authenticity. We can feel when something is forced. We can feel when something is rushed. But when it flows naturally out of the moment, it feels real. A perfectly timed kiss also creates anticipation. It makes the moment stretch. It makes time slow down. That anticipation heightens every sensation. And when anticipation meets action, the emotional impact multiplies. That's when a man goes quiet. That's when he forgets what he was about to say. That's when strength gives way to feeling. Timing also respects boundaries. It doesn't push, it doesn't demand, it waits. And waiting tells a man that the woman in front of him values the moment, not just the outcome. That kind of patience builds trust, and trust is what allows a man to let his guard down. When the timing is right, a kiss doesn't just touch his lips. It confirms something he was already feeling but hadn't named yet. It tells him, yes, this is real. And that confirmation is powerful, because now his emotions have permission to show up. And once a man experiences a moment like that, his memory locks it in. Not the technique, not the details, but the feeling of being in the exact right moment with the exact right person. That's why timing matters more than anything else, because when the moment is right, everything else falls into place on its own. Let me tell you something straight, because this is where most people miss it completely. Intention is everything. You can do the same exact action with two different intentions and get two completely different results. And when it comes to a kiss, a man can feel the intention behind it before his lips even touch hers. A kiss without intention is just contact. It's empty. It's forgettable. But a kiss with intention carries meaning, and meaning is what shakes a man, because men live in a world where we're trained to read actions, not words. So when a woman kisses a man with real intention, he feels the message immediately, even if he can't explain it. Intention shows up in the way she approaches the moment. There's no rush, no hesitation, no confusion. She knows why she's there. She knows what she wants to express. And that clarity sends a signal straight to a man's core. It tells him this isn't accidental. This isn't casual. This moment was chosen. Men go weak when a kiss feels deliberate, not calculated, not manipulative, but purposeful. A kiss that says, I mean this, because purpose creates weight, and weight makes a man pause. It makes him take the moment seriously. It makes him feel like something important just happened. A kiss with intention also carries emotional honesty. There's no pretending, no hiding behind playfulness or distraction. It's direct without being aggressive, soft without being uncertain. And that balance confuses a man in the best way, because now he's not guessing, he's receiving. Intention also removes doubt. A man doesn't have to wonder what the kiss meant or why it happened. He feels the answer in the moment. And when doubt disappears, emotion takes its place. That's when his guard drops. That's when strength loosens its grip. A woman's intention can say 1,000 things without a single word. It can say, I trust you. It can say, I'm present. It can say, this moment matters to me. And when a man feels that kind of intention, he feels respected, seen, acknowledged. And those feelings run deeper than desire. Men are rarely given emotional clarity. We often live in uncertainty, trying to interpret signals and mixed messages. So when a kiss comes with clear intention, it feels grounding. It feels real. It feels like something solid in a world that constantly shifts. A kiss with intention also creates vulnerability, because now the moment carries consequence. It's not something to brush off. It lingers. It asks the man to be present emotionally, not just physically. And vulnerability is where men feel weakest, because it's where we are most exposed. Intention also controls energy. It slows things down. It focuses attention. It brings both people into the same emotional space. And when a man feels that alignment, his usual confidence softens. Not because he's unsure, but because he's affected. That kind of kiss doesn't just end when it's over. It stays with him. It makes him replay the moment. It makes him question what he felt. And anytime a man starts reflecting emotionally, you know something powerful has happened. Because intention turns a simple action into a meaningful experience. And men don't forget experiences that make them feel something real. When intention leads the kiss, strength doesn't disappear loudly. It fades quietly, replaced by connection, emotion, and a moment that carries weight long after it's passed. Let me tell you something real right here, because this part is subtle, and that's why it's powerful. Presence is rare. Real presence. Not being there physically, but being there completely. And when a woman brings true presence into an intimate moment, a man feels it instantly. Before a kiss ever happens, before lips touch, before anything physical takes place, presence has already done the work. Most people are distracted. Their minds are somewhere else, thinking about what comes next, how they look, what this moment means, where this is going. But when a woman is fully present, when her attention is undivided, when she is grounded in that exact second, it creates a kind of gravity. A man feels pulled into the moment, whether he wants to be or not. A kiss backed by presence feels different because it doesn't rush. It doesn't float on the surface. It anchors itself. Her eyes aren't wandering. Her energy isn't scattered. Her body language is calm, intentional, steady. And that steadiness makes a man feel like time just slowed down. His mind, which is usually noisy and busy, starts to quiet itself. Men don't get many moments where someone is fully locked in on them emotionally. We are used to attention being divided, half listening, half giving, half feeling. So when a woman gives her full presence, it feels intense, it feels intimate. It feels like being chosen in that exact moment, not because of what he can provide or who he's supposed to be, but simply because he's there. A present kiss doesn't feel like it's trying to achieve anything. It's not rushing toward an outcome. It's not bargaining for affection or future promises. It exists purely in the now. And that's what makes it powerful. Because when a man senses there is no agenda, he relaxes. And when he relaxes, he opens up emotionally without realizing it. Presence also creates connection, not surface level chemistry, but deep emotional alignment. It feels like both people are tuned to the same frequency. Breathing slows, movement softens, awareness sharpens. And in that space, a man becomes highly sensitive to every detail. The closeness, the warmth, the pause before the kiss. That pause alone can make his heart beat harder than the kiss itself. A man goes weak when he feels fully met in a moment, when he's not being evaluated, rushed, or distracted from. When he feels like the woman in front of him is right there with him, nowhere else. That kind of connection bypasses logic. It doesn't ask for permission, it just lands. Presence also signals emotional maturity. It tells a man this woman is comfortable in stillness, comfortable in silence, comfortable in closeness. And that level of comfort is magnetic, because men crave peace more than excitement, even if we don't say it out loud. A present kiss feels peaceful, grounding, safe, and safety is what allows vulnerability to show up. When a woman is present, her touch carries weight. Even the smallest movement feels intentional. Nothing feels random. Nothing feels careless. And that intentionality makes a man feel like the moment matters, like he matters. And when a man feels that, his usual emotional armor starts to loosen. Presence also removes performance. There's no pressure to impress, no role to play, no mask to wear. And men are tired of performing. So when a kiss feels real instead of rehearsed, when it feels like an authentic expression instead of a strategy, it hits deeper than anything flashy ever could. That kind of kiss doesn't overwhelm a man, it settles into him. It stays with him quietly. He might not talk about it. He might not even fully understand why it affected him so much. But he'll feel it. He'll replay it. He'll remember how it made him feel calm, connected, and seen, because presence turns a simple kiss into an emotional experience. And when a man experiences that level of connection, strength doesn't vanish dramatically. It softens. It yields. It gives way to feeling. And that's the moment when he realizes, without saying a word, that something real just happened. Let me tell you something most men will never say out loud, not because it isn't true, but because admitting it would expose how deeply we feel. Some moments don't end when they're over. Some moments stay. They lodge themselves in a man's mind and replay when he's alone, when he's quiet, when he's driving, when he's lying awake at night staring at the ceiling. A kiss done the right way doesn't fade. It imprints. Men remember feelings more than details. We might forget what was said, what music was playing, what time it was, but we never forget how a moment made us feel. And when a kiss creates an emotional imprint, it becomes a reference point. Every other kiss gets compared to it, whether we realize it or not. A man goes weak when a kiss leaves a psychological mark, because now it has power over him even in her absence. He doesn't need her to be there for it to affect him. His mind brings it back on its own. That's when you know it mattered. That's when you know it reached deeper than the surface. What creates that imprint is meaning. A kiss that carries meaning doesn't disappear when lips separate. It settles into memory. It becomes associated with comfort, desire, safety, or connection, and men bond strongly to emotional experiences, especially ones that catch us off guard. Men live in a world where we're expected to be composed, controlled, logical. So when a kiss breaks through that structure and creates a feeling we didn't plan for, didn't expect, and can't explain, it stays with us. The mind keeps revisiting it, trying to understand why it felt the way it did. A memorable kiss also changes behavior. It changes how a man looks at the woman who gave it. He becomes more attentive, more thoughtful, more emotionally engaged, because now there's something at stake. Something real was felt, and the mind wants to protect that feeling from being lost. That imprint also creates longing, not desperation, but quiet desire. The kind where a man doesn't chase loudly, but he thinks deeply. He remembers the calm, the closeness, the way that moment made him feel more like himself. And men are drawn back to places where they felt grounded. A kiss that leaves a psychological imprint also feels personal, not generic, not repeatable. It feels like it could only have happened between those two people in that moment. And that uniqueness makes it powerful, because men value what feels rare. Memory is emotional glue. And once a man's mind associates a woman with a feeling he can't easily recreate elsewhere, she occupies space in him, not just attraction but emotional presence. She becomes familiar in a comforting way. That's why man can walk away physically but still feel tied emotionally, because the imprint doesn't obey distance. It doesn't obey logic. It exists on its own timeline. And the stronger the feeling, the longer it lasts. A kiss like that also creates trust, because the mind remembers safety, it remembers warmth, it remembers authenticity. And when a man trusts how he felt, he's more likely to open up again, to lean in, to allow vulnerability to return. The real power of that imprint is that it doesn't demand attention. It waits, it resurfaces naturally, in quiet moments, in reflective moments. And when it does, it brings the emotion back with it. Men don't forget experiences that touch them emotionally. We carry them silently. And when a kiss leaves that kind of mark, strength doesn't disappear in the moment alone. It continues to soften over time, because now the mind has been changed. And once a man feels something that deeply, part of him is permanently altered, whether he ever admits it or not.